Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Reviews channel. Today I'm going to explain The Flash, a 2023 American superhero film based on the DC character of the same name. Andy Muschietti directed the film. The cast includes Ezra Miller as The Flash, alongside Sasha Calle, Michael Shannon, Ron Livingston, Maribel Verdú, Kiersey Clemons, Anche Trejo, and Michael Keaton. The movie begins with Barry Allen buying breakfast before going to work, when suddenly he receives a call from Alfred. It turns out there's a problem at the Gotham hospital, and they need Flash's help. Barry has to get to work quickly, so he tells Alfred to ask another hero. But it turns out Superman and the others are dealing with more important tasks. Flash has no choice and speeds off to the hospital. After a long journey that Flash makes in a matter of seconds, he arrives at the scene and realizes that the hospital has been attacked by thieves who had just stolen a deadly virus. Batman will go after them, while Flash has to evacuate the people. There's a chase where Batman follows the thieves on his Batcycle, while Flash is annoyed that he always gets stuck with the boring jobs. But everything changes when the hospital begins to collapse, and Flash has to move quickly to save some children, showcasing his super speed. He even takes a moment to eat as he needs energy. In the end, he successfully saves all the babies and goes to help Batman, who is still in pursuit. Batman manages to stop the thieves but finds himself in a tight spot as the thief with the biological substance is about to fall. Just when Wonder Woman arrives and saves him with the lasso of truth. Batman, having been in contact with the lasso, flirts with Diana and admits he never thanks people because he has a big ego. While Flash is helping him, he admits that he is a virgin. Then he returns to work, where he is scolded by his boss for being late again. Outside, he encounters a girl he likes named Iris West, a journalist who asks him how he feels knowing that his father's trial will be the next morning. Barry responds that he is confident his father is innocent and leaves, feeling uncomfortable about the question. Then he speaks to his father, who is in jail, about the trial. It turns out that they planned to show a video that Barry asked Batman to find, which showed that his father was out shopping when his mother's accident happened, proving his innocence. The problem is that in the video, his father never looks at the camera, and because of that, they won't be able to prove his innocence. Upon learning this, his father asks Barry to forget about him and to please live his own life. So Barry remembers how his life used to be when his mother was still with him, and was happy. But everything changed one morning when his mother was planning to make a noodle dish, and his father went out to buy a can of tomato sauce. While Barry was in his room, he hears his mother being attacked, and everyone blames his father, although Barry is sure that his father is innocent because he saw him arrive just as his mother screamed. The painful memory troubles Barry, who runs to clear his mind. At that moment, he surpasses the speed of light and arrives in a strange dimension where he can see various events he has experienced. By interacting with these strange visions, he realizes that he can travel to different parts of time. Barry tells Bruce about it and asks if it would be a good idea to go back in time and save his mom, to which Batman tells him it would be a very bad idea. It would be irresponsible because interacting with people from another time could endanger the entire existence of reality. Flash suggests saving Batman's parents instead, but Batman tries to make him understand that the wounds they had in the past shape the people they are now. Moreover, time travel puts everyone's lives at risk. Later, Flash is visited by Iris, who wants to apologize for the inappropriate question she asked. Flash, who wasn't expecting visitors, quickly cleans his house. Then the two talk, and at one point, Iris gives Flash an idea of how to fix things indirectly. Barry believes that if he travels to the past and avoids contact with anyone, he wouldn't change much of the timeline, as Batman said. He remembers that his mother forgot a can of tomato sauce. If she hadn't forgotten it, his father would never have left her, and they wouldn't have suffered any harm. So Barry starts running at full speed and goes back to the past. He places a can of tomato sauce in his mother's basket and quickly runs back to the present. But at that moment, a strange person appears and pushes Barry into another reality. Barry doesn't understand what has happened. But when he enters his house, he notices that he didn't alter the timeline and his mother is still alive. He gives her a warm hug. The problem is that while he's in the middle of a conversation with his parents, he realizes that another version of himself is about to arrive. So he quickly goes out to intercept him. He asks the younger Barry his age, and he responds that he's 18 years old. Then Barry tells him everything about his time travel, shows him his powers, but keeps it a secret that he traveled to the past to save his mother. The The younger Barry is unfriendly, which almost prompts Barry to punch him in the face. He then says goodbye to return to the past once again and fix everything. But suddenly, a storm emerges. When he asks for the date, he discovers that it's September 29th, the day he was supposed to receive his powers. Barry panics because by talking to his younger self, he has prevented him from obtaining his superpowers. And since he's uncertain about how reality works, he believes that if his younger self doesn't get his powers, he will lose his super speed and won't be able to return to his reality. So Barry convinces his younger self to go to the laboratory to receive a lightning strike. He also shows him his ability to pass through walls by vibrating his atoms. Upon arriving at the laboratory, Barry tells his younger self where he should be seated to ensure the event that will grant him his powers. The problem is that when the lightning is about to strike, they argue because young Barry is scared. Then the lightning hits both of them, sending them to the ground and causing the original Barry to lose a tooth. The noise attracts security guards, but when Barry tries to escape, he realizes that he has just lost his powers. On the other hand, the young Barry manages to obtain powers, which makes him excited and ends up making a fool of himself. The next day, Barry explains to him how to use his special suit. But there's a problem because now he doesn't know what to do. He lost his powers and has no way to return to his respective timeline. While they are walking, they hear people getting scared because General Zod issues a warning to Earth, just like what happened in the Superman movie, forcing humans to hand over a Kryptonian. The young Barry doesn't know what Superman is, so Barry tells him that he is the most powerful being on Earth, and that in his reality, Superman managed to defeat General Zod. Since the young Barry knows nothing about Superman, Barry understands that he doesn't exist in this reality. So he thinks that the only way to stop General Zod is by gathering the members of the Justice League. They go to young Barry's house and try to search for their hero friends on the internet. However, things get worse because every time they try to look for them, they realize that the Justice League doesn't exist in this reality. While talking to young Barry's friends about the existence of heroes, Flash realizes that Batman does exist in this reality. So the two Barrys head to Wayne Manor, where they encounter an old and unkempt person who starts attacking them for entering his house. When he calms down, Barry realizes that the guy is Bruce Wayne and proceeds to tell him everything about the time travel journey he went on. Barry doesn't understand why that Batman is so old since he didn't travel so far back in time, which means he should have the same age as the Batman from his reality. Then Bruce responds that once you travel to another timeline, not only does the future change from that point, but the entire timeline is altered, including the past. Barry tells Bruce that they need to find Superman because he's the only one who can stop General Zod. But Bruce replies that he doesn't want to do it because Gotham has become one of the safest cities in the world, so he retired several years ago. Nevertheless, Barry enters the Batcave and uses the computer. But when he hears that young Barry is still making stupid jokes, he gets angry with him and tells him to stop being so unfriendly. Later, through a camera, Barry explains to Bruce that he altered time to save his parents. This makes Bruce identify with him and start helping him. The next day, Bruce leaves a document for Barry, informing him that the Kryptonian is captured by a Russian military group in Siberia. Then Batman appears in his ship. During the flight, Batman uses his cape instead of a parachute, and inside the military facilities, they are discovered. So Batman proves that, despite being old, he is still extremely skilled as he takes down several soldiers. Afterwards, they come across a sphere where Clark should be imprisoned, but when they enter, they find a girl instead. So Batman tells them they must quickly escape. However, Flash feels sorry for the girl, so he decides to take her with him. Several soldiers start chasing them, and although Batman does everything he can to escape, they end up ambushed. And when all seems lost, the girl they just saved begins to attack the soldiers, demonstrating that she has the same powers as Superman. After defeating the enemies, everyone returns to Wayne Manor. Bruce tends to his wounds but is happy to be Batman again. The girl they found is named Kara, and she is Superman's cousin, who was sent to Earth to protect him. Kara sees on TV that General Zod is on Earth, so she and young Barry go up to the rooftop to recharge and change clothes. Young Barry explains that they need to come up with a plan to defeat General Zod, but Kara doesn't want to defend Earth after being locked in a cage for many years. She believes that humans are not worthy of being saved, so she leaves to see what General Zod is up to, and realizes that he plans to destroy humans for not surrendering any Kryptonians. Since Kara has left, Barry tells Batman that he needs to regain his powers, so he plans to repeat the experiment with the lightning. Batman helps him, But when the lightning hits Barry, he doesn't regain his powers and is left nearly dead with his remaining consciousness. Barry asks Batman to try again. At that moment, Kara appears and takes Flash up into the clouds, where a second lightning strike gives him his superpowers. The young Barry takes a Batman suit and paints it red to have his own costume. Flash changes as well and asks Kara why she came back. She responds that it's because of the symbol on his suit, which represents hope. She is also aware that Zod will destroy humanity if they don't help. The three of them head to the battle where Kara confronts General Zod, while the two Flashes go to stop the Kryptonian soldiers. Young Flash is hit and surprised, so Barry tells him to be careful since Kryptonians are fast, but not faster than them. On the other hand, Kara tells General Zod that he failed because Clark never arrived on Earth. Zod reveals that he already knew because he found him several years ago. Kara realizes that Clark is no longer alive, and she gets angry. A battle between Kryptonians begins. Barry explains to his younger self how they should fight. The younger Barry learns the moves, and they make a good team, managing to defeat several enemies. Meanwhile, Batman destroys several enemy ships. However, he gets hit, and when he activates the injection system, it doesn't work. So he decides to crash into the alien ship to cause some damage. Kara becomes overconfident and is defeated by General Zod, who takes a blood sample and leaves her lifeless. The two Flashes realize that their friends have been lost, so the young Barry convinces Barry to run quickly and go back in time a few minutes. They return and manage to prevent Batman and Kara from dying. Unfortunately, Kara loses again to General Zod, and Batman is killed by a Kryptonian soldier. The two Flashes deal with the soldier who took their friend's life, and accidentally the young Barry uses his vibrational power, causing an object from the enemy's armor to become embedded in his arm. A Kryptonian appears and fights against the young Flash, eventually taking his life with the weapon on his arm. With this weapon, Barry wants to go back in time and try to save her friends again. But every time she does it, the same thing happens. She tries several more times, but the outcome remains unchanged. Barry tells her to stop, saying it doesn't make sense to do the same thing over and over again. He apologizes to his younger self because all of this happened due to modifying the past. He decides to go back in time and leave everything as it was before. However, the young Barry refuses because he doesn't want his mother to lose her life. At that moment, a dark character arrives in that dimension and begins to attack them. Barry discovers that the being is an older version of the young Flash, who looks like that because he has been trying for several years to change the timelines, causing objects to become embedded in his body. Flash realizes that realities are starting to collapse, causing different versions of Superman to appear, such as the Nicolas Cage version. Barry knows they have to stop it, but Dark Flash is willing to keep modifying the past until everything is fixed. He tries to take down Barry, but the young Barry defends him, causing Dark Flash to disappear as he has ended the life of his alternate reality self. Young Flash understands that Barry should not save his mother, and before dying he asks Barry to tell his mother that he loves her. Then, Flash starts running and travels back in time to the moment he placed the can of tomato sauce in his mother's pantry. He talks to her anonymously for a while, and realizing that she is very sad, he gives her a tight hug. Barry takes the tomato sauce from the shopping cart, says goodbye to his mother, and then puts the can back on the shelf where it should be. He returns to his reality, and his father's trial is about to begin. He enters at the precise moment when the defense is showing the surveillance video from the supermarket, revealing that he managed to capture his father's face on camera, proving that he is actually innocent. It turns out that the tomato sauce he left in the past was placed on the top shelf, causing his father to look up. Barry talks to Iris, and they agree to go on a date. Then he receives a call from Bruce Wayne, thanking him for the video and suggesting that they should meet. However, at that moment, Batman appears, surprising Barry as it turns out to be George Clooney, the Batman from another reality.
If you enjoy our channel and would like to be notified of new videos, subscribe now.